My first time in Ukraine was in June 2016. I was invited to DJ at the festival, and since Ukraine had never been on my radar, I booked a quick 4-day trip, thinking it would be enough. 2 weeks later, and I was still dragging my feet to leave. The people, the culture, the architecture, it was unlike anything I experienced before. And I would take another 2 trips the year, each one growing my love and appreciation for this magnificent country and its people. Then 5 years ago, I met my beautiful Ukrainian wife, Katya. And Ukraine would become my second home. We spent the summer visiting our family on the eastern border, just 40 kilometers away from Russia. January 2022, we spent a month house hunting with plans to move to Kyiv full-time. The tension with Russia was present, and some residents were slowly moving to the west, but none of us thought to invade. 20 days later, 4 a.m., my wife's phone rang. It was her brother. The fucker has done it. When I saw this happening in Ukraine, I reached out to several small businesses, many which began the same time as the war, to see if we could discover how their resilience and courage was bringing hope to Ukrainian people. And so, the journey began. Our trip begins in Bucharest, Romania, one of the wealthiest capitals in the region. With a 14-hour journey ahead of us, and because of Ukrainian curfew, we had to leave at 6 a.m. so we could arrive in Khmelnytskyi, the largest city in western Ukraine, before lights went out at 10 p.m. But first, we had a 2-hour wait at the Syria border crossing.
The queue is pretty still long, everyone waiting in the sun. Better stop filming now because apparently we can't film across the border.
We downloaded the most valuable app in Ukraine, an air raid signaler to inform us of incoming bombs. After a quick search, we were through the borders. Leaving Ukraine isn't as simple as showing your passport though. Due to the martial law, no men are allowed to exit the country. With Ukrainian ports blocked by Russian invaders, all goods and humanitarian aid need to be transported by trucks. So we drove 20 minutes before seeing a break in the line. We never experienced anything like this before.
8:17, we have the curfew at 11, so we are trying to rush through.
We arrived minutes before the city went black. At 11 p.m., the streets were empty, the lights were off, and everything was completely silent. Anyone found outside would be fined and arrested. There's something very strange about waking up, seeing a girl riding a horse outside the window, drinking your coffee and hearing siren blasting overhead. It will be a feeling that occurred again and again during our months in the country.
On the way to Kyiv, nice straight roads.
Our plan was quite simple: enter in the south and make our way north to Kyiv. We felt safe in the capital, and there hadn't been any military action since the start of the war back in February. Most of the conflict had remained on the eastern border, with little success in advancing central. As we drove, we passed several war zones and witnessed the first signs of destruction, but still, the reality hadn't sunk in. Arriving into Kyiv was strange. It was such a familiar space, and seeing your favorite cafes still open or visiting memorable places from trips before, everything felt kind of the same but different at the same time. It was on this day when we met with the creators of Chop Chop. It's kind of natural for entrepreneurs to say, hey, when I have A, B, C, D, then I'll start selling. But the 3 founders of Chop Chop never had that luxury. Instead, they turned their expertise in IT and marketing to start selling on Instagram and small vendors. After collecting memes from the war, they transformed the most infamous into socks. I met into a local shop to see how they've managed to find so much success with such a simple business strategy.
Let's see if I'm proficient in Ukraine. Okay,
Memes,
okay, Ukrainian memes. So this one will be farmers hijacking. Then we have Kim,
right?
Yeah, actually.
And then the Ghost of Kyiv, and then Aristovich, obviously.
Yes.
What does it say in Aristovich?
The thing that calmed down us.
Oh, it's the one with during the air raids.
Yeah. So what we are doing every evening, when I was listening still at Aristovich every evening to get calm. To prepare yourself to sleep, so just listen to this calm voice that's saying everything will be alright. And
what is the bestseller?
Chernobyevka. For
Chernobyevka,
now, Panton and Kyiv.
Chernobyevka is a village in southern Ukraine. It has been described as a legendary settlement because of the many attacks Russian forces have suffered there. And waves of memes mocking Russian failures in Chernobyevka spread across Ukrainian language social media. Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, has said that Chernobyevka will go down in history as the place where Russian military have shown them what they truly are, incompetent and just simply able to drive the people to slaughter. What was the moment where you're like, I think we have something here that is just more like, hey, let's try to survive?
It was the moment when we understood that a lot of celebrities just put our socks, they order our socks without any asking from our side. And also it was when we see people ordering from the whole world, from France, from Germany, from England, even from the USA, and we starting to get like, okay, it's something serious.
Something is happening, yeah. How is starting a business during a war?
То я проснувся в 5-й ранку від того, що відбувається на вулиці, сирена, війна. І я відчув, що те, що я собі мріяв, те, що я собі строїв і уявляв за своє майбутнє, пов'язував це з цією країною, що воно уходить в мене з-під ніг. Ось. І цей стан, він дуже деструктивний. В голові появляються всякі погані думки, і з нього важко вийти з цього стану. І коли ми з Олегом почали займатися цим проектом, це в першу чергу було для мене особисто, щоб встати, запуститися, реорганізуватися, прийти в новий стан, в якому можливо хоч щось робити, тому що ти не бачив ні майбутнього, нічого. І своїм продуктом ми хотіли в першу чергу собі дати віру і надію, що є якесь майбутнє нове, а в наступну чергу вже всім остальним. І тому ми хочемо через розвивати колаборації, хочемо розвивати партнерство для того, щоб таку саму віру, таку саму надію давати іншим бізнесам, які переживають такі часи кризові.
I just want to hear from you, like an advice that you can give to the Western businesses of how to survive or what they can do best to face hard economic times or hard times in their life.
На самом деле, первое, что бы я сказал, что вся ответственность лежит только на вас. То есть не нужно думать, что кто-то вам придет, поможет извне. Нужно верить в свои силы, нужно не сдаваться, нужно двигаться. И я бы сказал, что сейчас одним из хороших инструментов это коллаборации. Делать коллаборации с другими хорошими бизнесами, которые тоже хотят развиваться, чтобы быть вместе, быть сильнее и добиваться своих успехов, своих высот.
We need to accept that now it would be a long period of hard time, and there won't be the same as before, never. And we need to just be together and put a lot of effort into every business or every activity we do. So probably the work and other strong activity is the thing that provides safety from these evil thoughts and panic and other emotions. So work is the key.
We arrived in Kyiv a couple of days ago. Everything feels very, very normal. Doesn't really feel there is a war around besides the air raid alarms that are coming up every 3 or 4 times a day. The morning I met with our friend Christina. We've been running volunteer networks since the beginning of the war. We headed to Irpin when an enormous battle had been fought during occupation. It was the last defense before Kyiv. Despite there being no military bases or personnel in the region, the town was massacred. And seeing cars full of bullet holes and destroyed residential houses and shattered businesses showed me the inhumanity and outright barbarism of the Russian army.
This was a shopping center.
Shopping center, and the second floor was the bowling and something for kids. I don't know how many bombs or rockets, or I don't know how it works, you know. I never seen before in the lifetime. I can't imagine why. And phew.
After this, we went inside the Irpin Central House of Culture.
It was a theater before.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been inside here?
Before?
Yeah.
When I was young?
No, but like now.
No, it's my first.
Although Christina had a hard time dealing with all the destruction, the next place we visited was much harder for her.
I'm really afraid to
walk.
Because maybe
Maybe
I
the
know
same.
exactly. I saw someone who's I don't know. I don't see the picture on Facebook, but many of my friends whom I write on Facebook or on Instagram, they don't answer me. I don't know, maybe 1 month. So I think they here. My friends who stay here from 24th of February, they said they was in the forest and they saw how the Russian soldier killed the people and
And most of these people died from the shelling, shrapnel, or from shots, or what? How?
from shots, yeah.
Open fire.
Open fire, and when the tank go the road, and if they see the people, you know, for them it was like a joke, like a game.
Oh, okay.
You know, like this
They
game,
came here-
like GTA, you know.
Yeah, like in a video game, just shooting civilians.
Yeah.
In the cemetery, we found the councilman on duty.
Це було не передати словами, що тут происходило. Тут происходило просто ужас, мрак. Розстрілювали людей на вулиці. Були діти вбиті, були чоловіки, зв'язані руки, зв'язані ноги, прострелений в потилицю, в голову. Були повішені люди, були танками переїжджені люди. Тобі що було? Захватили територію і на окупованій території не давали можливості пересуватися людям. Де були окуповані території, туди не було можливості не прийти, не приїхати. От де ми стоїмо, вона частково теж вважалася окупованою. Чому? Тому що з того боку Ірпеня стояли, отам я сам їхав по Пушкінській вулиці, мене обстрілювали з автоматів і за мною їхав танк. Не знаю, як він не вистрілив, але напевно Бог зберіг моє життя, тому що треба було комусь потім оце все, коли вони вийшли з міста, роботу цю робити. Якби, на жаль, до останнього я збирав тіла загиблих в місті. Я вам скажу так, що на сьогоднішній день десь 60% мешканців повернулися вже в місто. Тобто, і вже на сьогоднішній день не те, що потрібно, це вже край потрібно було, щоб все поверталось, тому що людям треба і в магазин сходити, і якісь гігієнічні там засоби, не виїжджати в Київ для того, щоб купити там якісь піти салфетки, навіть ті, чи дитячі памперси. Тобто історія така, що на сьогоднішній день вже майже, є великі супермаркети, які побиті, розбиті, вони ще не пооткривалися, тобто є, але майже всі вже відкриті в нас в місті. Маленькі магазинчики теж працюють. Я вам скажу так, що якщо б не маленькі магазинчики, то була б взагалі печаль, біда в місті. Вони оці маленькі, магазинчики, вони і задали ритму повертання всіх великих бізнесів в місто. Тому що якщо маленький відкрився і вже спокійно, там якась шаурма десь відкрилась, якась кофейня, то вже почали всі вертатися, і ресторани відкриваються, і кафе, тобто нормально.
What? What's that? Everything became so real right now. Until now, it's very hard to understand what happened.
After witnessing the devastation in Irpin, I I started to notice something that I hadn't noticed before. The anxiety hiding behind everyone's calm demeanor. The next day, we drove out to the warehouse of Kyiv Wood to talk to the founders. It was the night of the 24th of February that would change Kostya and Svetlana's lives forever. While sleeping in their home in Kyiv, the bombs began falling. Without hesitation, they sprang up, grabbed their cats, and prepacked suitcases and dashed for the car. But they weren't the only ones. They arrived in a small village for refuge, only to find hundreds of others also seeking protection. With everyone still scared and shaken, they had to settle into a 3-bedroom home with 13 other people and 3 cats. They left everything behind: their laser cutter, printer, their materials, the building, and contact with their employees. Business had to come to a standstill, giving them a reason to give up completely, but instead, something amazing happened.
Sveta is first who makes something. It was amazing, no, seriously. She's first who understands that war is not stop of our lives. And Sveta is amazing girl. When she starts painting, I think it's amazing. Seriously, I was there and I don't understand how at 100 kilometers killed people, there people не було поганих емоцій. Люди реально хотіли друг другу допомогти. Це, війна дуже сильно змінила людей, підход їх до життя, і все так і сталося.
I just, at one moment, I remember that I can do something to help, or just at first to help myself, to have my life back. And I decided that I wanted to draw, and then I can find a way in what I can help. Daria writes me and tell that I can sell my illustrations as NFTs. Then it became my illustrations became prints for a lot of products on T-shirts, pins.
Yeah,
Yes,
like
yes.
It's a new product.
Yes, Costa is making this for me.
You're making it here, right?
Yes, of course.
You're making everything here.
Life is not stopping. We need to pay rent. We need to pay our people who work here, and
Also, we need to raise Ukrainian economy.
yes, we can't stop. No, it's not normal for us. We have little business, but it's our life. Seriously.
How did you move from making a wooden puzzle to making tactical belts?
Я знайшов декілька волонтерів, котрі займались пошуком цих плитоносок і поясів. З ними разом ми знайшли людей, котрі шиють ці пояси в Україні, в Києві, також під постійним очікуванням того, що може щось прилетіти. І спочатку один цех, потім інший. Зараз зі мною працює десь 3 цехи, котрі виробляють для наших захисників тактичне спорядження. Я ніколи цим не займався, я не служив, в мене немає військового якогось опиту. Але кожна людина зараз, вона докладає найбільше зусиль для того, щоб допомогти.
What advice would you give to other businesses like yourself in Europe and everywhere else in the world, how to face difficulties and how to face uncertainty?
Ми ті люди, котрі пережили коронавірус, ті люди, котрі зараз переживаємо війну, думали, що 21 рік був найгіршим, але ніколи не зупиняйтесь, шукайте шляхи, і це дуже важливо. Життя ніколи не закінчується, і ми завжди можемо щось робити, навіть коли здається, що це не так. Реально, просто не опускайте руки, робіть щось, що ви вмієте, у вас все вийде. Це реально так. І я можу сказати, що нас реально оточують дуже круті люди. Ну, у будь-якій країні завжди є дуже гарні люди, котрі нам завжди допомагають. Ну, це реально так. І thank you for all of us. Це дуже важливо для нас.
So far this trip, it taught me something I didn't realize about the war. Small businesses were acting as the backbone of the Ukrainian economy, because big box industry have fled the country due to supply shortages, expensive overhead, and political instability. Without the operational small businesses, I'm not convinced Ukraine would be such in a good shape. There are moments in life you can't just prepare for, whether it's a tragic car accident, or a fatal diagnosis, or the shake of an earthquake. The bombing on the 26th of June, just 3 kilometers from our building, was one of those moments. My next week in Ukraine wouldn't be the same.